bored of reading now, I must admit. I do find Tudor history interesting, but I wonder what perfumes they wore during that time. Oh, what have I got here? Anne Boleyn, the old witchcraft shop fragrance oils. Let's have a little look. Good afternoon. It's going to be a slightly different video today. What you've just seen is actually a little gift I bought my brother a couple of years ago. If you don't know though, me and him, we get on really well. Obviously, we're like best friends, to be honest with you. Something we have a really shared interest in is British history, our royal history, and obviously fragrances as well. So I actually Googled when I was looking for his birthday, what could I get my brother? And I actually found this Tudor-inspired fragrance, and it's literally just a 10 ml fragrance oil essentially, and it's called Anne Boleyn. Anne Boleyn, if you don't know, was the wife of Henry VIII, or one of the unfortunate ones that got beheaded, the second wife of Henry VIII, who actually, her mum, or her daughter, was Elizabeth I. So the book I was reading there. But yeah, I wanted to kind of have a look at why is there a Tudor fragrance? Why would there be such thing? Because surely they didn't wear things like Hermes Ogivre and stuff in the past. There was no such thing like that. But obviously fragrance and scent still would have been a thing in the past. Obviously there were certain herbs, spices and things that were actually very valuable at the time. And I wanted to kind of explore this for us. I've never actually sprayed this because obviously it's his. But yeah, it doesn't wear it that much. And I thought what I'll do on my walk today, I'll do that and we'll read some Tudor facts during it as well. So I can talk about the fragrance at the same time, see how long it lasts, see if I recommend buying. It's just a 10 ml sample, as I said, essentially. And yeah, what I'm going to do though, before I do that, I'm going to give you a little bit of info about what it smells like, why it smells like that, and just read the little bit of info on the inside as well. So let's get on with that. Okay, let's read the inside first. So a unique scent inspired by Tudor perfumery, a blend of aromas able to take you back in time with the use of herbs and spices which were contemporary use in perfumery. Anne Boleyn's scent has been inspired by these new and exciting aromas of Tudor times. The top notes of this oil are English rose and honeysuckle, as Anne's heraldic badge depicts red and white roses, and honeysuckle was part of Henry and Anne's private motifs. They've really thought about this. I was thinking, why have they put Anne Boleyn in this? That's why. So it is the link to kind of her heraldic badge, essentially. Her symbol, in other words. Um, Rose and honeysuckle have been blended with orange, jasmine, agarwood, and sandalwood oils. I think it's agarwood, isn't it? But yes, there's quite a mix here. So we've got a bit of woodiness. We've got a bit of a floral component as well there. And jasmine, very popular in feminine fragrances today. So yeah, I expect this to smell quite feminine. But yeah, a nice bit of woods at the end, just to tone down that floral component. So I'm going to read one more excerpt because there's actually a long description on Etsy as well, which may give us a little bit more info. Then we'll do a spray test before we go for our walk. More info here. So it says, the Tudor age saw exotic explorations undertaken by the likes of Christopher Columbus and Sir Francis Drake, who brought back fragrant herbs and spices. Some of these imported substances were favourites of the wealthy to wear as perfumes. Popular scents of the Tudor and Elizabethan eras were orange blossom, jasmine, rose, agarwood, and sandalwood. So again, just goes into a little bit more info about why these oils have been used, not just Anne Boleyn specifically, but during the Tudor time, people obviously used these scents. So I'm looking forward to trying this. I haven't actually seen. Apparently, my brother, who has tried it before, says it's not actually a spray. It's more like a roll-on. So let's just open that up quickly before we try it on and just actually see if I can actually open it. Oh, cut. So yes, it is. It's like a little mini roll-on. So it's. Does it work though? Oh, it does. Right. What I'm going to do then. So I'm going to do about an hour and a half, 2 hour walk. Just going to roll a bit of this on my arm here. Actually comes off really nicely as well. I don't know if you can really see that. The camera won't do it justice, but that's really nice. And what's nice, being a 10 ml size sort of bottle, if you spray it like an atomizer, it just doesn't last. So I'm going to do one on my wrist this side, and yeah, just on my arm there. Right, so it said, obviously the notes earlier, it said rose and honeysuckle. I don't know too much about honeysuckle as a note, but you know, jasmine, agarwood, sandalwood, I'm obviously more familiar with those. So what am I getting mainly from this? First of all, I just want to say the quality of this, the oils that they've used, smells really good. Now, I'm definitely getting the rose. I don't know honeysuckle enough to judge it, but there's this lovely rose on the top and jasmine. Rose and jasmine, quite strong notes in perfumery. That's really nice. I think that sandalwood, as I was saying earlier, just tones it down, because rose can be quite harsh. And jasmine can be as well if it's, you know, too much. It can be very, very sort of feminine. It's a nice toned down floral, and I think the roll on helps that as well. That's lovely. Now it's extremely feminine, but of course, Anne Boleyn was a lady, and I expected this to be more of a feminine fragrance. Probably why my brother doesn't really wear it, but actually, I'd wear that. I love rose as a fragrance. It's a little bit of a jammy rose, but again, it's that springtime sort of smell. Really nice, clean. It's a bit of a fresh, clean washing sort of smell. That's what I'd say. Certainly doesn't smell like a toilet cleaner or anything like that. That's very pleasant. But of course, what I want to do now, I'm going to head out for a walk. We'll see how long this fragrance lasts, and yeah, if I recommend buying it. But what we'll do during my walk as well, I've actually asked ChatGPT. I know a lot about royal history, but I wanted to find some quirky facts. So I'm going to give you 10 facts about the Tudor era while we review this fragrance on my walk, while we test its longevity and its overall performance today. So stop sniffing, Mary. We need to see how long it lasts. Anyway, let's get out there. It's stopped raining, and yeah, see you in a minute. Okay, so we're going to do this a little bit like a fitness fragrance review. So we're going to do the 5 categories, and then I'll do 2 facts per category. So price / value for money. So it's £8 for this sort of 10ml fragrance oil, this roll-on fragrance oil. Do I think it's worth it? Well, certainly based on the scent. If you said to me now how much this, or how expensive does this smell, I think pretty expensive. I honestly think this smells like a £40–50 fragrance easily, because it's a very natural rose, it's a very natural jasmine. All the oils in this feel like they're very much natural, and because it's a independent person that's made, you tend to get that. It's not like a brand that's using all these, you know, really harsh chemicals. This is just someone who's probably just bought some really nice oils, blends them well together, and you just end up with this really nice rosy jasmine smell, and it's really, really pleasant. It's definitely got that quality about it. It almost feels a little bit like Lush Rose Jam. So for that reason, I think it needs a good score for this. Okay, yeah, look, it's 10ml, £8. It's not going to last very long, is it? But the fact it's a roll on, it will last a bit longer. We'll go 9 out of 10. I wish you could get this in 100ml, because I think it'd be a very good present for like a parent. Like my mum likes her royal history. She loves Mary, Queen of Scots, and yeah, I think I'm going to give it that. Yeah, let's go 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 I'm going to go for. I think it's very pleasant. What are my 2 quirky facts then? So for the first one, I've got my other phone with me here. Henry VIII, who was obviously married to Anne Boleyn, owned a mechanical robot puppet that could fire a miniature cannon. He loved elaborate entertainment and mechanical toys, basically 16th century animatronics. That is really strange. I've never heard about that before. I think the only thing I really know that's a bit out there of Henry VIII, obviously other than the fact he had 6 wives, which everyone knows, I think he kind of set up the Royal Mail or the postal system, again, probably for his own gain rather than for the gain that we see in today's world. But the second one, so we've got a perfume one here. Perfume existed in Tudor England, but it was mostly used on clothes, not skin, which is basically how I apply fragrances, to be honest with you. But the reason I do is just because I don't want it to burn the skin when I sweat. But the main reason they did is sweet bags filled with herbs and scented powders were pinned inside garments to mask the smell of rarely washed wool and linen. So essentially it was to mask the fact they smell, which I guess, again, a little bit like me when I do all my exercise and sweat and then wear the same tops to the gym. I suppose it still does that use. So yeah, Tudor England is the reason they did that, and that's of course led to people like me doing that today, sort of. Anyway, let's go on to versatility. How versatile is this phrase before we do the next 2 facts? Okay, so versatility. How much can you dress this one up, dress this one down, different occasions, different seasons, all those things. This is very much a feminine fragrance. I can see why my brother doesn't particularly wear it actually that much, but it's very, you know, if you like your floral scents, you can definitely pull it off. I think, again, it's a little bit more mature as well. It's not got that sweet fruitiness, not playful. But again, you wouldn't have expected that in Tudor England time, would you? You'd expect it to be herbs, spices, definitely those sort of floral things that, again, essentially anything you can get your hand on. And floral fragrances are super strong. So if they were being used to mask bad smells, you can see why. So I wouldn't wear this for the gym. I think it's too heavy. I think transition seasons would be where it's best, but it certainly will have enough power to cut through the cold with those woods as well. You know, it's not going to make it too harsh. in that spring season either. It's not going to be too cloying, especially not on an oil like this. So for versatility, I'm going to say 25 and up, more of a fall winter, but spring as well. We'll go 7 out of 10 for this one. I was quite generous on the first round, so that's not too bad still, is it? Again, a man could pull it off, and again, I don't think this fragrance would be one that I'd overly... You could definitely dress it up, but I think casually it'd be a little bit too heavy. So that's what I'm saying for that one. Let's go to the next 2 facts. So Elizabeth I had her own royal perfumer to the Queen. So Elizabeth I was the daughter of Anne Boleyn, and yeah, she used to like her sweets, and she did like her perfumery, according to this. So I'll wait for that card to go on. One of them was Hugh Morgan, who introduced vanilla to England. The most used scent currently in perfumery is vanilla. And there you go, Tudor England was where it started, or it came from Hugh Morgan. He brought it to England anyway. Perfume gloves became a huge court trend under us. Perfume gloves, so not perfume skin or anything like that. Still, it's clothing seemed to be the priority in Tudor England. Yeah, nice smelling gloves. I'd be all for that. Why don't they do that sort of thing now? Anyway, the 4th fact, I should say. The Tudors believed bathing water could make you sick, so perfume and rose water were used instead. Again, talking about rose, so rose is in this. They wiped themselves with linen cloth soaked in scented waters. Baths were special occasion events. Yeah, let's be honest, how many people would have had things like baths back in the day? I feel like nobody really has a bath anymore, to be honest with you, anyway, because how busy the life is, and you only jump in and out the shower. But obviously back in that time, if you owned a bath, you obviously had a bit of money about you. And yeah, isn't it funny how superstitious they were in the past as well? So yeah, rose water and perfumes were very much a popular thing during bathing. Right, on to projection. Okay, so projection. How much can I smell this fragrance? Well, I'm gonna have to be honest here. I can smell it really, really strongly, and I have still got my sleeves down on my coat, so I don't know why it's so strong. And what I'm thinking is it's probably where I smelt the fragrance initially, just to try and get a bit of an initial impression. I think some of it's transferred onto my nose, and it's super strong. But again, it is a strong fragrance. I don't need to dig my nose into my arm to smell this. 2-3 centimeters away, and it's absolutely fine. It's really, really good. This projection in a climate controlled environment, an office or anything, cold weather like it is today, this is going to last. I think because it's a roll-on though, with your skin, if it heats up around your neck at times, I think it probably would wear off. But again, you can easily slip this into your bag and it's going to be absolutely fine. It's perfect for that. It's perfect for those travel situations. And the projection's pretty good. I said Rose Jam by Lush is what this reminds me of, and that's been one of my most commented fragrances in the past. It leaves a kind of trail in the room. Obviously, this being a roll-on, you won't really get that, but you will certainly notice it, and people close to you will definitely notice it as well. So let's look at the next 2 facts then. Oh, well, I'm giving the score, have I? Projection then, for that reason, I'll go 9 out of 10. It's very, very good. I just think because it's a roll-on, you may not get the real compliments or the mentions, but we'll talk about compliment factor in a bit more detail. But you'll notice it and it won't escape you. So projection is pretty good. So fact number 5, Elizabeth I, again, so the daughter of Anne Boleyn, which this fragrance is called, demanded that all rooms she entered be heavily scented. So again, it seems like Elizabeth I, more than her mother, was the one that actually was really into her perfumes and fragrances. Maybe they should have called this the Elizabeth I fragrance. But she disliked bad smells so much that her palaces burned herbs, resins, citrus pills, and even perfume coal. Ooh, not sure about perfume coal, but charcoal is in fragrances. So, but yeah, again, goes back to it. Herbs, citrus, sort of things that we still like to wear today. She was very much someone who liked that one as well. So I love it. I love herbs and fragrances. I need to get some more herbal fragrances. Anyway, number 6, wealthy Tudor men sometimes perfume their beards. So it wasn't just women, it wasn't just a woman's thing, it wasn't just a class thing. Men actually just liked perfuming their beards as well. So why was that? Beard oils scented with ambergris, again another fragrance note that we see, civet, which is not particularly popular, that's like the sweat glands, isn't it, of animals or something. Rose or musk, surprisingly common amongst courtiers. So there you go, so they like things like musk and civet and ambergris, not just women, and rose. Again, I don't think there's enough fragrances in modern In modern men's perfumery, it touches on rose as a note, and it's very pleasant. And this sort of jammy rose in this one, I think is great. But there you go. I can't grow a beard. It takes me about 2 weeks to even notice any stubble. So yeah, I remember my dad actually saying when it was Movember, he didn't even realise I'd grown one because it'd gone so blonde. So yeah, I won't be perfuming my beard anytime soon. I'll just be wearing them as the fragrances as they are. Okay, number 4, compliment fact. Do I think this is a compliment getting fragrance? Yes, I do. I think floral fragrances in general, if my mum was, I'd really, really like it. But I think it's one of them where it's not like a night out fragrance. This is, again, your everyday sort of signature scent fragrance. It's not going to get that, oh, you smell like really attractive. It's more, you smell clean, well put together, and it's just expensive. You just smell it quite expensive. And so there is a bit of a throwback and maturity about it. Floral fragrances can smell a bit like your old grandma, and I don't get that vibe with this, but I do get a vibe of someone who's 30 and above, someone who's probably a married woman rather than anyone who's trying to, impress a new person. But it's clean, it's refreshing. I said a little bit earlier on, it's like clean laundry, and I don't think anyone could dislike that smell. I think this has definitely got a bit of musk in there as well, and I think the woods, as I was saying, that it just tones down that really harsh floral, which I think could be too much and too cloying for the person wearing it more than anything else, especially if it's around your neck. So I don't think it's like a big compliment getter. I think it's going to be more like a nice comment, oh, you smell nice, rather than, wow, what is that? I need to know what this is. But that's fine, that's what I want. I want something that's going to be a bit more everyday signature scent, because you can wear it then on more occasions, more situations, rather than saving it for a night out or anything. So I'm going to give compliment factor 7 out of 10. I think that's pretty fair. Floral fragrances for me aren't the huge compliment getting ones. Maybe they could have added a bit of vanilla in this, according to the fact that Elizabeth, the first perfumer, brought it to this country, but that's fine. I don't think rose and vanilla particularly does mix that well. So anyway, let's go on to the 2 facts. So number 7, Tudor dentists recommended mint, rosemary and salt, but people also rub their teeth with sugar. I do that with butter mints, I guess. Yeah, that's probably not a good idea. What does it say? This made dental hygiene worse, especially among the elite. So you can imagine that. We were talking about wealth earlier with bathing and stuff, but you could imagine those who are a bit more wealthy, like their sweets and had better access to food, that probably meant they were more obese and also had worse teeth. So yeah, that doesn't overly surprise me with that one. Apologies for that. I had to pause the video for a second then, because there were loads of people in Christmas hats coming by. It was like a big crowd. Anyway, fact number 8 was Tudor ladies kept pomanders filled with spiced whack balls to ward off plague. Funny enough, in that Amber Lynn description, actually in the fragrance packaging, it said about pomanders, they're like scent pouches. And obviously, they're obviously thinking it might prevent illness. Again, we all have our superstitions, don't we, as well? But what was in these? They smelled strong, clove, amber, myrrh, storax, and they were worn like jewellery held to the nose in crowds. So again, not trying to get ill. I've had myrrh in fragrances. That's quite balsamic, I believe. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I believe clove as well is used in a lot of things. Is it used for toothache or something like that as well, or preventing infection? So again, maybe all these things are linked from that period of time when, Tudor women were having them in scent pouches. So yeah, very interesting. I'm learning more and more. Did you know that though? That's the important thing. But of course, I'm going to give it about 20 minutes now, because we've got to do our final category, which is longevity. So yeah, we'll let it sit for a little bit longer, and then I'll do the last 2 facts. Okay, so longevity. How long do I think this fragrance will last? Well, I've only had it on for probably just about an hour and 15 minutes so far, so quite a long time. Now, I think this is a really high quality scent. The oils in this are really good. And I've had my own perfume kit before, and it had rose, it had vanilla. I think it might have even had oud in it. And it was really long lasting. The rose much wouldn't come off my skin. It was so it was really, really oily. Like, you could always see it reflecting off your skin, and it does look a little bit like that on this now, on my skin from this one. So I think this is going to last pretty much all day. I don't think you'd really need to reapply, to be honest. And rose, as I said, that's why I like it. I like beast mode scents. If you like that sort of beast mode type scent, I think this is a brilliant one. And woods, let's be honest, the woods will tone it down a little bit, but it just adds to that more well-rounded, smooth blend that you won't find it too anosmic or too overpowering for anyone else through the day. So I'm going to give longevity as well a 9 out of 10 for this one. Okay then, and the last 2 facts are number 9, Henry VIII, so Anne Boleyn's husband, banned football because players kept getting injured and starting fights. That seems a little bit hypocritical for someone like him, who obviously beheaded some of his wives as well. Maybe he wasn't a football fan, but of course football back then would have been very different. I think the origins of football, they used to play with like pig's bladders and things like that, so it wasn't like a, you know, a Nike size 5 football or anything like that. But yeah, maybe he needed his people fit to get ready for the battles he was preparing to go into. Last fact, number 10. The Tudors had a superstition that opening windows at night let the devil in. It says, as a result, homes were often smoky and smelly, feeding even more demand for herbal scenting. So again, talks about how perfumery was used to try and ward the devil off. So warding off infection, warding off the devil, all these other things, not just used to smell nice and be attractive to other people. You know, okay, yes, it was to mask it in clothing at times, but a lot of it was actually more for health and well-being and just, again, peace of mind as much as anything. So it's very interesting. The origins of fragrance very much wasn't to smell good and attract a mate, very much to, yeah, peace of mind, let's say. What was the total score this fragrance got? Well, it got 41 out of 50 in my reviews. There are 3 9s and 2 7s. I love it. I think it's a really good idea, and I actually like the fact it can be educational through fragrances as well. And if you like the Tudor history, definitely recommend it. Whether it's a little secret Santa, a tree present, a stocking filler, it's going to do all those jobs. It'd just be good if there could be other things that, you know, not necessarily Tudor history, but anything where you can use the scent to try and delve more into some history about things, and yeah, learn something else along the way. Combine a couple of interests through fragrances. So yeah, I absolutely love it. I think it's a great idea. Maybe they should do another Tudor one, maybe a Henry VIII one, more of a masculine based one, and I would definitely buy it, that's for sure. But yeah, I hope you've learned something as well today. Some interesting facts there. So yeah, stuff that I certainly didn't know, and I didn't realise perfumery was such a big thing during the Tudor period, and just, well, especially with Elizabeth I, who was Anne Boleyn's daughter. Hasn't mentioned that in my book yet, so maybe it'll be at the end of the book, maybe that'll be the big finale, but got quite a lot more pages to go. But yeah, thank you very much for watching today. Nearly finished my walk now, so yeah, going to sign off and go and warm my hands up. Catch you later.